Hi, my name is Natalie Candela. Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Natalie Candela. I'm a hypnotherapist and a transformation coach. You're about to listen to one of my sessions. Enjoy. I'd like you to begin to move in the direction of the time and space when you had your first encounter with non-human beings. You don't have to remember it now or think about it now. You will be brought there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're there. So tell me what you see or perceive around you.
I'm in the front yard of a house that I lived in as a child.
How old are you?
About 8 years old or so.
And is it daytime or nighttime?
It's nighttime.
What do you see around you?
I see around me the porch and the bushes, but it's almost, I feel like I'm being watched from inside the house. Like I'm looking into the windows to see who's in there.
And why do you have that sensation that you're being watched?
Because I thought I saw something in there.
So just allow yourself to focus on whatever you saw. It will come into focus for you. And let me know what you notice inside the house.
It's more of like a shadow, like it doesn't have a distinct shape, but I can see it.
And it's a shadow of something that is inside the house, or the shadow itself is inside the house?
The shadow is inside the house. The shadow is what I'm seeing. It doesn't have a definite shape, though.
And what is the shadow doing?
The shadow is coming up against the window and looking at me outside.
And as you're seeing it, what is your feeling about it?
I'm afraid of it. I want to look away. I feel like if I look away and don't see it anymore, then it can't hurt me.
Do you feel that it will hurt you if you look at it?
Yeah, that is how I feel about it.
So I wonder if you can address it and actually ask it, who are you? I wonder if it will give you some sort of an answer.
It's almost like they're saying that I know them.
Is it time for you to remember who they are?
Feels like they're a friend or something.
So do you want to ask just in case if they mean you any harm?
They're telling me that I know them and they wouldn't hurt me.
Good. So does that make you feel better?
Yeah.
Good. Can you tell me before we go any further, what are you doing outside at this time?
I was outside to play in the yard because my parents were fighting.
And do you know why that shadow is inside the house and not outside with you?
I feel like the shadow came to visit me, came to see me, but I wasn't inside.
Are you willing to have a little bit more of a conversation with them? Would that be okay? So what is the best way to do it? Do you need to go inside or are you going to stay where you are?
I'll go inside. I've never seen them outside.
Okay. So go inside. Which room are you going to?
the living room.
And are your parents in their own room right now?
Yeah, they're upstairs arguing.
So you're alone in the living room?
Yes,
And when you come into the living room, what do you see?
the couch and the drapes. I know that that shadow is here, but I don't see them.
You're saying they, so there is more than one?
I think so.
Do you feel that they are in a physical form?
I'm not sure.
Are you able to ask them and they will hear you even if you speak in your mind? Where are you, and are you able to come out so I can see you?
Yeah, there's one now in the doorway into the dining room.
Can you describe it?
It's a shadow, but now it's different. It has kind of the shape of like a male, but somewhat taller than a normal man.
Is it a human male?
Yes, it looks like a human male shadow. He said that I saw him before and I was scared because I didn't know who he was.
Are they communicating to you through your mind?
Yes, through my mind. I don't hear them saying anything audible.
Okay. And so as the shadow of the man comes in, what happens next?
I'm just kind of looking at him because I remember seeing him before, but I was afraid. I saw him at night.
Did you see him once or more than once?
I saw him more than once coming down the hall into my room.
So he's standing there now, and is he talking to you?
Yes, he's talking to me, but it's almost like he's talking on behalf of the others too.
What is he saying to you?
He's still saying that I know him. He's not saying that we're friends, but to me, that's what I kind of relate it to, like we're friends, like we know each other. And he's saying I was scared just because I don't realize things like the past that we've had together, or I don't remember things that have happened before.
Wonderful. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to ask him to take you on that journey to help you remember that path that you walked together, to help you remember your connection. So as I count to 3, you're going to travel with him to the time when you remembered, when you knew who you were, you knew your connection, so that it becomes clear and understandable to you. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what you're seeing or perceiving.
I see like a cloud, like a haze. It's a little dark, but I understand that it's like the sun is dark there. The light is dimmer here than on Earth.
And so what I'd like you to do is look down at where your feet would be and tell me what you see wearing on your feet or what your feet look like.
I don't have feet, I'm just kind of a light.
Okay. And so what do you see around you?
The other lights in this cloud, in this haze, they're all around me. I'm not even sure I could count them all.
And are those lights all individual beings?
Yes, I feel like they're individuals.
Are you one of them?
Yes, we're all the same.
What else can you tell me about this place or your existence there?
I feel like I am very closely connected to all of these other others almost like we share something symbiotically, like we're part of one organism.
Do you have a purpose for your existence as this light? A reason for being in that form?
Yes, we help others. We help other beings.
How do you do that?
Oh, there's just like a bunch of things given to me all at one time, like from everyone at the same time.
And it's all right. You will absorb it. And with each breath that you take, you will be able to gently transform it into human conscious understanding in linear language. So take your time.
I help in the efforts by watching other cultures, experiencing other ways of life, other existences.
And when you experience it or watch it, what do you do with that information?
There's some kind of feedback, like I give feedback almost telepathically as if I'm doing it all the time.
And feeding it back to your collective?
Yes, there's not like a mission objective or anything. It's just like sharing the experiences that I have.
Are all of you doing that in different worlds?
Some of us are, but not all. There's a lot of different aspects to what we're doing.
So what are some of the other things that you do, those of you that don't do traveling and feeding back information?
Some of us are capable of changing things to help others.
Do they do it in your world or in other worlds?
We do it in other worlds and other cultures.
Can you give me an example of what they would change?
Like a climate or a weather pattern. It would change the way like a plant evolves or is grafted so that it grows stronger.
Have they done that work on Earth?
Yes, many times.
So they change things, they experience life. What other things do they take on?
I'm asking, but it's almost like I'm supposed to focus on my work.
And that's fine. Thank you for letting me know. So let's focus on your work. What can you tell me about it? Can you tell me some of the places that you have gone to and experienced?
I went to like on a ship, almost like a city on a ship, like people live there in this ship.
Is it humanoids?
Very human interactions, but they don't look human. They almost look more, maybe they have scales or something.
Can you tell me more about their appearance?
Very slim, but some of them almost insects, but with scales on their skin.
What does their face look like?
Their faces look more like reptiles or amphibians, like a lizard.
And so do you then become one of them?
If I was one of them, so that I could watch them, observe them.
So tell me a little bit about your life there or about that race. Did they spend their entire life on the ship?
Yes, they all lived on the ship. It seems like they all lived on the ship in peace until something was going on. almost like some kind of unrest or something.
And can you tell me, how were you born? Do they give birth to their young? How do they come into life?
Seeing like eggs in a pod.
And how do they raise their young?
The children belong to all of them. Then there's like a village.
Do they teach them?
It's mostly by experience, like modeling.
What types of things do they learn or need to learn?
They learn about almost like equality. They see themselves as a collective group. They learn about how everything that they do is tied into the group as a whole. Almost like apprentices in certain jobs, whatever job they're assigned to.
Do they have a choice of the work that they do, or somebody assigns a job to them?
I think they're assigned, they're assigned by what's needed.
And is that what they always do, or at some point they can choose?
So they always do it this way.
And do they enjoy their work?
I feel like it's just part of life. Like they don't really, they're not aware there's an option to not enjoy it.
So if they're on a ship all their life, they must be technically pretty advanced. This technical work or engineering, are those assigned as well?
It's very technical work, but none of it looks familiar to me.
So do they learn it somewhere?
It's through apprenticeship. They always learn directly from someone else.
So become aware of what work you do in that life.
I help caring with the sick.
I see. So tell me more about it.
It's almost like what seems to be a hospital or something with different wards, patients. There's a lot of different beings that are on this ship. There's a lot of different beings in this ward.
So are they not all from the same race?
No, they're not all from the same race. There's different sets of beings that live within this ship.
And so what do you do for them?
I'm doing some kind of therapy, almost like physical therapy, moving of the limbs, conditioning of muscles and things.
Why do they need it?
There's something like malnourished. There's problems with the muscles.
So become a little bit more aware what happened to them.
Everything is very rationed, and some of the beings need more nutrients, but they can't get them.
And why is it rationed?
I'm not sure. It's almost like we're not supposed to question things, just like with our jobs, we just do them.
But now that you have the ability to look at it from the outside, things that you didn't know before will be revealed to you. And if not, then you will find people that you can ask. So become aware of the bigger picture and what is happening. And why is there this rationing that leads to malnutrition, that leads to the specific work that you do with physical therapy?
There was a problem with something with air or some kind of chemicals in the air. provisions on board were not producing as much as they thought they would.
And how big is this problem? Is it something temporary?
It seems like it's been going on for a long time.
So do you have a limited supply of provisions?
Yeah, it's very limited. We're very far away from home.
And so you're not able to produce any more, or just not enough?
They produce enough to ration it out, but it's not enough for some.
I see. So your work is ongoing with beings that are not getting enough nutrition?
Yes, some of them have been like this since birth because of the effects of malnourishment through the generation.
So how long has this been going on?
A very long amount of time.
So multiple generations?
Yeah, I don't know how to put it like in years.
Right. Now, can you become aware of a lifespan of that being, and maybe you can express it in Earth years somehow? How long do they live?
They don't live that long, maybe 50 years.
So how many generations have they spent on the ship?
Every 16.
Are you aware of the unrest that is happening on their home world? Can you tell me about that?
Yes, there were some that didn't want to do their jobs anymore, have their assignments anymore. They wanted more to make their own choices.
And what happened?
There was like quick flashes of light, almost like bombs or something. That's why we left.
So is it that the beings that wanted more individual choices used some explosives?
It looks like explosives, but I'm not sure what they are. And seeing it at a distance from up above.
So is there fighting still going on the home world?
If we were to go back, they would still fight us now.
Everybody who wanted free choice stayed, and those who didn't, who were more of a collective, they all left.
Yes, that's right.
And now that you're dealing with that malnutrition and it's been going on for 16 generations, is there a plan for return or maybe relocation or something? Or are you planning to continue this life on the ship?
We're planning to stay on the ship.
So tell me a little more about your work. Is there a word for what you call your job?
Yeah, I think it's called Mensa or Mensa.
And what does that mean? Can you put it into an English word?
Like a healer. I feel like everybody that is involved in tending to the sick is called that.
I don't know if there's an emotional attachment to the work, but are you glad that you're doing it, or you don't care one way or the other?
No, I'm not aware of any feelings associated with it. It's just what I'm doing.
Are you good at it?
Yeah, I was taught well.
Okay, good. I'd like you to move forward in time on the count of 3 to the next important event in that lifetime. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening around you.
Now I'm sick.
What happened to you?
I almost have like some kind of disease. Like I can't breathe that well.
Where are you?
I'm in the ship, but I don't see anyone around me. Maybe I'm like in my own room.
Did something just happen to you, or is it more of a long-term condition?
I feel like it's long term, like I'm trying to hide it.
Why are you trying to hide it?
I think they would kill me if they knew I was sick.
Why would they do that?
I think it's because this disease is contagious.
And so, being that you are Menva and you understand illness, can you tell me more about what is afflicting you?
It's contagious, like a virus. I caught it when I was working in the hospital. It's affecting my breathing, lessen my ability to breathe until I just suffocate.
So it can kill you then.
Yes, it's fatal.
Is it treatable though?
It seems like a lot of people have been dying from it, so I'm not sure.
But you said that you're alone now and you're hiding. Are you isolating or are you still working?
I think I work and then I come home, but then I don't do anything else.
So when you're at work, are you not afraid that you will infect others?
Yeah, I am. It's almost like I know that I might, but I don't want to die either. I don't want to be killed. I'm really conflicted about it.
And what stage of life are you in right now? Are you still young?
No, I'm old.
In your society, do you generally have family units or do you all live in groups by yourselves?
No, I'm staying there by myself.
Does each being have their own space?
Yeah, it's your own space for sleeping and studying, things like that.
Do you study all your life?
Yes, but I'm always studying what my career path is. It's always the physical therapy.
So you're always improving.
Yeah.
So on the count of three, I'd like you to move forward in time to the resolution of this illness, however it resolves. Just let me know what happens then. 1, 2, and 3.
I did die. I'm just laying there. I'm alone. I don't think they ever found out I was sick until after I was dead.
And when they find your body, what do they do with it?
They put it in almost like a furnace. They burn it.
Do they realize that it was the virus?
Yeah, they can see some signs in my skin, some sort of lesions or scars caused by the virus.
They burn your body, and what happens to your spirit? What do you do after your body's gone?
I'm not sure.
As you are a part of that collective of the lights, and you feed back the information about other races and other life experiences, do you do it consciously or subconsciously? And is it done at the end of each life or throughout?
It's done throughout, but it's done subconsciously.
So when you were living within that race, you were not aware that you had traveled from somewhere else, right?
No, I thought I was one of them.
So become aware of yourself. You're out of that body and you're now becoming more aware of who you truly are, that memory, that awareness, that sense is returning to you. And just see what your next move is.
Yes, I'm light again. I'm back in the cloud.
And how does it feel to return there after life somewhere else?
Feels like I belong here, like I'm home. Almost like a relief.
Do you have a full recollection of your life on the chip?
It's just partial, but it doesn't matter. It's all been passed on already.
Okay, so you've already transmitted all that information to your collective.
Yeah, it's transmitted almost in live time.
Is there any reflection upon or assessment of your experience? When you come back, do you review it? Do you learn anything from it? Or is it just moving on to other things?
Yes, I'm just going to move on to the next because whatever's done with that information is above my duty, above my existence.
Are there beings within your collective that decide what to do with such information?
Yes, there's like a network strata, almost like a layering that we do this work together.
Are you aware of what kind of decisions they might be making?
No, I know of some of them, but I'm not aware of the decisions that they make. There's just an awareness of the type of work that we do to help other beings.
Help me understand this a little bit better. So you're not making any decisions about what to do with it, you just live the life. But there are decisions at some level that are made about certain types of interventions.
Yes, I just collect information.
I see. Thank you. So take me now to your next experience. What happens to you next?
Next, I think I was human.
You choose to go to Earth, or is that something that is assigned to you?
No, I'm just assigned.
Are there many beings from your world that come to Earth?
Yes, but we go to lots of different places.
When you first come to Earth, become aware of what time period it is.
I have years, but it's a different calendar, I think.
So it's not somewhere in the 20th century that we just finished?
No, no.
So can you tell me more about that experience?
Yes, I'm living almost like in a stone house, stone or plaster house.
Or you're there by yourself, or there are others with you?
There's others. There's a couple of children there, a couple of young girls.
Are you male or female?
I'm male.
Are you young or old?
I think I'm young, like early adulthood.
Are you healthy?
Yes,
And can you tell me what you're wearing?
I'm wearing like a long shirt or dress. I don't have any shoes on.
These people around you, the children, are they part of your family?
Yes, I think they're my family.
How are they related to you?
They're my daughters.
Do you have a wife, a partner?
Yes, I have a wife, but she's not here right now.
And so describe to me the home that you live in.
There's like a stone floor in this room, and then there's a staircase that goes upstairs. A stone staircase with windows on the side of it. It's like open windows, and there's pottery going up along the stairs.
When you say open windows, do you mean there is no glass or covering of the openings, or are they just the windows that were opened?
No, they're just openings in the wall.
In this house, is it just you and your wife and the girls?
I think my mother lives there too.
Can you go outside of this house and tell me what you see outside?
It's very dry. It's a very dry region. There's trees and everything, but the air is very dry.
What's the temperature like?
It's very warm. The sun is hot. There's other stone houses similar to mine along this road, not a very wide road. It's almost like a sidewalk. Everything is very close together.
Are there a lot of people around?
Not right by me, but I can hear people all around down the road.
Become aware of what you do to support your family. Do you work?
Yes, I work at a mill processing grain.
And what kind of grains do you process?
Looks like wheat.
And what do you make with that flour?
We make bread, a square, kind of rounded loaf of bread.
And what about your wife? What does she do during the day?
She takes care of the children and takes care of the cooking, the house. She cares for my mother.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to see yourself having a meal. 1, 2, and 3. Can you tell me what you see?
My wife and my daughters are there, and we're sitting on the ground in our house on a blanket, and we have large dishes of food, like pottery dishes. And we just eat right out of the dishes with our hands.
Now, can you tell me what is in those large dishes? What kind of food is there?
There's the bread, but there's also like a soup made with like onions or some kind of root vegetable, green vegetables, fresh vegetables.
Even if it's a soup, how are you eating something that's liquid?
We soak it up with bread.
Okay. And your mother, is she eating with you?
No, she's upstairs.
Is she not well?
She's physically well, but not mentally.
What happened to her?
Like a deep depression.
Why?
When my father died, it really changed her.
And when did that happen?
Seems like several years ago, before my daughters were born, she came to live with us.
Why did he die?
He was murdered by robbers or bandits or something.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's now been several years, but she's still in the same state.
Yeah, she's almost like catatonic.
Did she have a really good relationship with your father?
Yes, she did.
Is there anything that you can do to help her other than feeding her and taking care of her body?
I just try and take care of her. I'm not sure how to help her.
You said that there is a different calendar this time. Are you aware of the time or the name of the place where you live?
I don't know the name of it, but it's almost like in a very arid place, almost like a desert. It's a large city.
On the count of 3, I want you to go to the next important moment in that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
We live in a much larger house now, me and my wife.
Who else is in the house with you?
There's some people in the background, I think, that they work for us now. They're cooking and things.
Are your children still with you?
No, our children are grown now. They have families of their own.
And your mother?
No, she's not here. I think she's passed already. I'm older now at this point.
Approximately how old?
I would say maybe 40 or 50, but it's old for that time.
So you got a bigger house. Were you still working at the mill?
Yes, I'm at the mill, but I'm like part owner of the mill now.
So you're doing well.
Yes, we have more income now because we have more people to trade with.
Who'd you trade with?
We trade with people from neighboring, not cities, but like neighboring villages.
You didn't trade with them before?
No, there was conflict before that has been resolved.
How did it get resolved?
I think there was a war. I think that these other villages and towns were brought under the rule of the city.
And do you know what you're all called now? This bigger territory?
I want to say myrrh, like the incense, myrrh is what's coming to mind.
And how is your wife?
She's older now too, but she's very happy. She likes running a large house.
And how is your relationship with her?
I'm very content with her. She's been a good partner, and I'm feeling like she influenced me in work in my career.
Excellent. So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the last day of this life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
I'm very old now. I think I died of natural causes, old age.
Approximately how old?
I don't know, maybe 60, 65, which it was old, and that's
Right.
why very old.
And when you die, who's around you?
The only people that are around me are the people that work for me. I feel really alone.
Is nobody from your family there with you?
No, no one's there. It's the people that work in the house.
Was your death unexpected?
To me, no. But I think maybe to my daughters, maybe they didn't realize I was going at that time.
I see. So once you leave your body, just allow your spirit to begin to rise and become more aware, more comfortable, more free. And let me know what happens to you next.
I'm light again. I'm back in the cloud.
Are there any changes you experience there? Anything new?
No, it's always the same. It's always being back home.
And how much time do you spend there between your life experiences?
I think it depends on where I need to go next. But I don't think it's that much time.
Okay. What is assigned to you next? Do you stay on Earth for a while or do you go to other places?
I feel like I went back to Earth next again.
And can you become aware of how many times you then return to Earth?
I think currently is the fourth time.
So take me to your next Earth life, the life number 2. And on the count of 3, you're going to find yourself in the second Earth life. 1, 2, and 3. What do you see?
This is Egypt. It's a temple complex. I think I'm a priest.
So you're in a male body?
Yes, I'm in a man's body.
Are you young or old?
I'm younger.
Are you healthy?
Yes, I'm healthy. I'm kind of skinny.
And what are you wearing?
I'm wearing a white, very long robe, and I have something draped around my neck.
And so tell me what you see around you.
I see a gateway, like an entrance into the shrine. There's fire pits on either side of it. There's some large statues outside, up against the wall. And I can go down into almost like an open pavilion outside the shrine.
Do you see people around you?
I don't see any people. I think they already left. Like we're closed for the day.
And what happens here during the day?
During the day, people bring offerings and things to leave at the shrine. Money and jewelry, food, cloth, things like that.
Who are these offerings for?
I don't know. I don't know what God is in the shrine.
So what happens to those offerings?
We take them and we use them to support ourselves.
Is that what's meant to be done with them?
Yes, that's what we do.
And so tell me about your life in that temple. What do you do during the day?
I work in that outer courtyard, cleaning out, collecting all of the offerings and making sure that everything is set up for the next time that people are coming in. But there's also a lot of religious or ritual things that I have to do day after day.
Can you tell me more about them?
Yeah, I think I'm reading something. Like I have to read something from a book or a scroll with some type of prayers. That's what I'm assigned to do.
Do you read it out loud to the people that come to the temple?
No, I just read it out loud in the shrine, like a religious duty.
How many priests or monks live in that temple?
There's 15 priests.
And does each one have his own separate job?
Yeah, there's different jobs, like different functions within the temple. Like mine is kind of like a reader or a chanter, but there's other priests that are involved with burning herbs or lighting fires. There's other priests that looks like they're doing almost some kind of magic or something with objects. Almost feels very Catholic to me, like religious, devout.
And so, as a priest, do you then live your entire life in that temple?
Yes, I live in the temple. I think I lived here since I was a child.
And so, just allow on the count of 3 to move to the next significant moment in that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
I'm older now. There's not as many priests now. Maybe some of them died.
And what's happening now?
I took on a different function now. I make some kind of offerings on behalf of the people now to the God.
Why was your function changed?
I like graduated or moved up the ladder, I guess you could say.
Is there anything significant about this?
I was kind of living a double life at this point.
What do you mean by that?
I was a devout priest, but I was also taking advantage of the younger priests.
Sexually?
Yes. I think I felt alone and I wanted to experience intimacy with someone or people.
Well, that's understandable when you spend your entire life alone.
Yeah. It was against the rules, though. We weren't supposed to do that.
Was it consensual or not?
Yes, it was consensual.
So you weren't hurting anybody?
No, but it feels like I was using my position of power to leverage what I wanted, at least initially.
And how long does this go on?
I was doing it for a while, for quite a long time.
And then did anything change?
No, I'm still doing it at this point.
Is it the same person or is it just whoever you can find?
It's different people.
So is this kind of thing widespread in the temple?
Yes, it is, but nobody can talk about it.
And so on the count of three, just allow yourself to move to the last day of that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
There's other priests around me. I smell incense or some kind of fragrance. I'm not afraid because I know what's going to happen.
And why are you dying? Are you ill in any way?
No, I don't believe so. I think I'm just old.
What's your age?
I think I'm over 50 years old.
And tell me about those relationships that you had with the younger priests. Did you continue until the end?
Yes, I continued. I never stopped those.
And how do you feel about that as you approach your death?
I don't feel good about it. I feel like I lived a double life, like I deceived everyone.
Would you have wished that you didn't do it?
Yeah, I did. When I was dying, I wish I wouldn't have done any of that.
Okay.
That I would have just been a faithful priest like I was supposed to be.
Was your faith genuine?
Yes, it was.
So just allow your body to go, and as your spirit lifts out of your body, and you begin again to reawaken that awareness of yourself. As you look back at that life, does your perception shift? Do you see it in a different light?
Yeah, I think if I were to somehow be able to realize who I really am, that so many of those life things wouldn't have mattered as much, wouldn't have put so much weight on them.
Tell me more about that.
I feel like if I would have known that I was just visiting there in that body, that I probably wouldn't have pursued those relationships to begin with. like it wouldn't have mattered.
So allow yourself to let go of that life and take the next step as you usually do, and let me know where you are now.
I'm back in the cloud again. Just glad to be here.
So again, take a moment, reconnect. And as you prepare for your next journey, are you going back to Earth again for your third life?
Yes, back to Earth again.
Okay. So on the count of 3, you will find yourself in the third life on Earth. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what you're experiencing.
And then a small, almost like a storefront. I think I
Okay.
work here. I own the store.
What do you see around you?
I see clothing, men's clothing, like suits, shirts, hats, all kinds of, I don't know, it's very old-fashioned. It's Victorian era.
Do you just sell men's clothing or do you make it as well?
I sell it, and I'll tailor it, but I don't make the clothing.
Are you in a male or a female body?
I'm in a male body,
Are you young or old?
sort of middle-aged.
Are you healthy?
I think so, but I smoke. I smoke rolled up
Okay.
cigarettes.
And does that affect your health?
Yeah, I think I have like a chronic dry cough.
So I'd like you to become aware of whether you have a family or you live alone.
Yes, I have a family.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to see yourself standing in front of a home where you live. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what you see.
It's like a wood frame house, 2 stories with a porch on the front. Kind of like at the edge of a town. I can see down where there are other houses and buildings.
Does it look like a big town or small town?
It's a good sized town, but not like a large city or anything.
Go ahead and enter your house and tell me what you see inside.
There's a fireplace inside and a big rug, writing desk, some furniture like sofa and chairs, red fabric on these furniture. There's a big clock, like a grandfather clock. I want to stand by the fireplace and smoke a cigarette.
Do you have any papers that you see or letters or calendars that identify the date?
There's a newspaper.
Yeah, what does it say?
An article about New York. I feel like this is a New York paper.
Do you see the name of the newspaper?
Tribune.
And so if you look on the top right, perhaps the date will come into view for you.
No, there's no date. It says 3 cents.
And if you look on the top left, what do you see there?
No, there's no date.
So as you finish your cigarette, can you tell me what's upstairs?
Upstairs is the bedrooms where everyone has their bedrooms, me and my wife and our 2 sons. But the
How,
sons are older now, they're married. They don't live here anymore.
and how is your relationship with your wife?
good, except that I can be a little harsh sometimes.
In what way?
I want to focus more on my business, but she wants me to be interested in other things sometimes.
And you don't have time for that?
No, I just want to focus on my business.
Does that upset her?
Yeah, that upsets her a lot.
So how does she occupy her time?
She has friends. She spends a lot of time with friends, other women.
And so where is your shop?
My shop is in the same town, in the center of town.
And how do you get there?
I walk there. It's not that far.
And how is your shop doing? How is your business going?
It's doing well, I think. It's steady business. It's not like I'm becoming rich off of it, but it's a good business.
Just allow on the count of 3 to move to the next significant event in that lifetime. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
My son died. One of my sons died.
Both of them?
Yeah, they were both sick, I think. Tuberculosis.
Do they have families that were left behind?
Yeah, their wife and their children were all left behind.
I'm sorry about that. Did they die close together in time?
Yeah, they died close because it was the same minister at both funerals.
Is there a lot of tuberculosis around at that time?
Yes, there is. A lot of people have gotten sick.
And so what happens next? Do you do anything for the families?
I try, and I think I should find those women new husbands, but I don't know how to do that.
What does your wife think?
Because I should just give them money. She thinks that we should support them if they need help, but I don't know how I would do that. I think it would hurt my business.
So just move forward a little bit in time on the count of 3 to the moment when that issue comes to some sort of a resolution or decision. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me how you resolve this.
One of my daughters-in-law does get married again of her own accord. I didn't have anything to do with it. But the other one, we have to help her out financially sometimes. But she works like at a textile factory.
And are your grandchildren okay?
I don't know. I don't feel very close to my grandchildren. I don't spend a lot of time with them.
Is that because you're more involved with your work?
Yeah, I'm always focused on my work.
Are your daughters-in-law doing okay in general after that?
I think they're both doing okay. It seems like the situation is working.
I wonder if you can become aware of any moment in that life. Maybe something happened that's out of the ordinary that may have caught your attention, maybe even made you frightened a little bit.
Oh, I remember one.
Tell me about it.
I missed a train, a really important train one time, because I know I had time to stab a cigarette before I left. And then I left the house, walked to the train station, but the train had already left like an hour ago. I couldn't figure out how. I thought my watch had stopped or something, but it was showing the correct time. I just lost track of time. I never figured that out.
So you lost about an hour of time.
Yes.
Anything else where maybe you saw things that were strange?
No, I don't think so.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the last day of that lifetime. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
I feel like I'm laying down, but it's black. I don't think I can open my eyes. I'm in a lot of pain.
Where is the pain?
The pain is in my chest and my upper abdomen. Feels like there's a boulder or something on my chest. I can barely breathe. I'm just kind of gasping for very shallow, short breaths.
And are you aware of anybody else being with you?
Yeah, someone's here. Someone's talking to me, but I'm not sure who it is. It's a female. Maybe it's my wife.
And you will experience moments of clarity and an ability to breathe very easily while you're remembering that experience. So as it becomes clearer to you, just become aware of who's talking to you.
Yes, it's my wife.
And what is she saying to you?
She's saying it's going to be okay.
Are you in your house?
I believe I'm in my house, but I can't. I don't think I can open my eyes at all. I believe I'm in my bed.
And as you take your next breath, allow your body to go in its own way while your spirit gently lifts and leaves the body. You now have the ability to see and understand so much more. And so as you're looking back at that life, do you have any thoughts on it?
I feel like I know that I was there this time because something was going to happen. We were watching them because something was going to happen. Like everything was going to change soon.
So can you go back to that moment when you lost an hour of your time and missed the train? Are you aware now of what was happening at that moment?
Yes. My friends came to talk to me.
Can you describe your friends? Is it the lights?
No, they appeared as they were in my house, like shadows.
Is that the form they take usually?
Guess that's how they look because the sun is brighter here.
And do they take on a humanoid form?
Not at first, but yeah, like a tall man.
Do they always appear as men?
I think it depends who's looking at them.
Is there any gender in your world?
No, we just know about gender from our experiences.
So they came to visit you. Was it just to say hello, or was there a specific reason? Was there a message they had to bring to you?
I think they visit me. I think they visit me every time.
In every life?
Yeah, because it feels like I was expecting them.
But then after it was over, your memory was erased.
No, it's not that. It's just I connect with them on a higher plane or higher frequency.
So when you go back to your consciousness, you can't keep the memory.
Yes, I don't think my human brain, my human mind is aware of those communications all the time.
So when they came to visit you, can you tell me how you spent the time with them? What happened during that visit?
like I'm giving a report or a status update of how things are going, or even like they had a couple of questions for me.
Can you tell me what the questions were?
I can't remember. It's not like I'm talking to a military general or something, giving a report. It's more like I'm talking to a friend, like you would just talk to a friend.
So just imagine yourself in that moment. There's going to be greater clarity in your awareness. There will be recollection of the things that you have discussed and the questions that they ask you. What were the questions that they asked?
I just wanted clarification on the experience of having an emotional experience coupled with a physical experience. Like those two things happening simultaneously, connected to each other.
And what do you tell them?
I was trying to explain it to them in a way they would understand. I told them it's unlike anything that we experience.
So when you're explaining it, is there a specific experience that you're referring to?
I was thinking about my sons, about how I felt connected to my sons emotionally. I could even feel them physically if they were nearby. It's very unlike our experience.
So are your friends able to grasp that from your explanation?
No, it's just documented.
Is there anything else that they ask you?
No, that's what they wanted clarification on.
And so after you spend some time with them, they go back.
Yes.
So now I'd like you to go back wherever you go after this life.
Yes, I'm back home.
And so as you prepare to your next life on earth, which is number 4, is that going to be the life as John?
Yes, that's this life now, yes.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you now to find yourself in your life as John, having that first experience of contact with your own people. On the count of 3, going back to your living room, 1, 2, and 3. And so is your memory now reawakened and you're becoming clearer on who you are and who this being is in front of you?
Yes.
And is there a shift now in how you feel about this being?
Yes, he's my friend.
So there is nothing to fear from him?
No, we were just having a conversation.
And is there any particular reason that he's visiting you at this moment?
Yeah, he wanted me to come back in the house.
Why did he come to visit you in this life at this point?
Because I was avoiding my parents, but they wanted me to be closer to my parents, observe more closely.
What is it about your parents that they want you to observe?
We need to study the conflict to understand the emotional conflicts.
So you were assigned to this family for a very specific reason.
Yes.
And how do you feel about that, about being closer with your parents?
I don't feel good about that at all.
Are you willing to follow the instructions, though, and do what you need to do?
I say that I will, but I don't feel like that I will. I feel trapped in this situation.
And do you communicate it to your friend?
Yes.
And what's their response?
They said that they all say that this is what I'm here for.
So as you continue to communicate with your friends, does the appearance change? Are they becoming more physical than shade, or is there more than one of them?
There's just one tall male shadow, but it's like I can sense, especially at times, that this one friend is representative of all the others.
Is he the one that visited you in the previous life?
Yes,
So as that time comes to an end, what happens?
he
Say
leaves
anything else
after
to
the
you?
conversation.
And where do you find yourself? What happens to you next as you return to your normal conscious level?
Yeah, I notice that I'm in the house now. I don't know how. I just go to my room.
So as you go through your childhood, do you change your behavior and begin to be closer to your parents?
I remain in the same pattern. I know that I should be closer with them, but I don't want to. It's too painful.
And so what I'd like you to do is now become aware of the next time that you come in contact with your friends. On the count of 3, just go to the next time that you're contacted by your friends or any other non-human entities. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
I'm waking up at night and there's someone there. My conscious mind said it's an angel. It's like a bright figure.
And where are you at this point?
I'm in my bed in my bedroom.
And how old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
Okay, so you're in the same house.
Yes.
And so what happens next?
I'm looking up at this angel and I feel very comforted. They're not saying anything. I can't see their face. I feel like I'm loved, like I'm being loved.
So as you're becoming more aware of what is happening, do you recognize this light now?
Yes, this is one of my friends. Oh, I didn't know that. When I was a child, I thought it was an angel.
Is there any interaction between you, or are they just observing you?
Observing, I think. I felt so comforted. It felt like home.
And so this light that you're seeing, are you seeing them in their natural form?
Yes, but it's almost like there's a filter on it, like what my human experience can see.
But they don't come in that shadow form.
No, not this time.
And how long do they stay?
I don't think it was that long. It felt like 5 minutes. I think I just felt back to sleep.
And so on the count of 3, you're going to move to the next interaction in this life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
And I'm in oh, I know where this place is, but I don't know what to call it.
Can you
It's
describe it?
almost, yeah, I'm in the dentist chair again. This was a long time ago. It was like a arched, like vaulted ceiling. It's like a beige color up above me. And there's a couple of beings around me.
Where are you right now?
I'm on the ship.
And why are you there?
I have to calibrate something.
Who's the we?
Me and my friends, everybody at home. I think I have to make some kind of adjustment.
So are they helping you then, these beings?
Yes, they're helping me. This goes back to my parents. I keep avoiding them. I keep trying to get away from them, but that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to get closer to them.
And so what will this adjustment do for you?
The adjustment is going to help me be almost like more empathetic or more compassionate towards them.
How old are you at this point?
14.
So who are these beings that are around you?
They're the ones that I saw this last time. They work with us. They help us.
So can you describe them?
They're not too tall, very slim, pale skin, large black eyes with kind of wrinkle lines under the eyes, very small nose and small mouth. And they have some kind of uniform, like a pale blue color uniform on.
How tall are they approximately?
Maybe 5'6" or 5'8".
Can you look at their extremities, at their arms? I don't know if you can see their feet, but can you describe their hands to me?
Yeah, they have humanoid hands, but only 3 fingers and a thumb. I can't see their feet.
So when you said they have pale skin, is it like a white person pale or a different color?
No, it's pale with like very light bluish undertones.
And so they are the beings that your collective asked to help you make the adjustment.
Yes.
Are you aware of what they're doing?
No, they just work at it. I don't really understand what they're doing. They have to help us because we don't understand physical bodies, but they do.
They understand human bodies?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'd like you just to ask them what it is that they do to make the adjustment.
They said that they're putting something in my body that is going to create more chemicals of some kind that would help me be more empathetic.
And as they put it into your body, are you going to sense it in any way?
No, not right away. It takes a little time to start working. He's explaining it to me like it's going to increase neurotransmitters. So I understand that.
And is the plan for you to continue these procedures with them throughout your life if necessary, or is it a one-time deal?
He said they help whenever it's needed.
So come to the end of that meeting, and on the count of 3, you're going to move to the next encounter that you have in this life with them or any other non-human entity. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
I'm having a conversation with my friend again.
Where are you located?
I'm in bed now, waking up.
How old are you?
23, 24. I was surprised because he was up in the corner of the room, not beside me. I know it's him.
And why is he there now?
We're talking again. We're having a conversation because I have a partner. We're talking about my partner.
And what does he have to say?
He's saying that my partner is keeping me away from my parents. I'm using him as an excuse not to engage with my parents.
So tell me if your interaction or your connection with your parents changed after that adjustment was made when you were 14.
Yes, it did, but it didn't last that long. I came out as gay later. It really messed things up again.
Is he expecting you to keep engaging with your parents, even if I'm guessing that when you came out, they were the ones who pushed you away?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So your friend, does he expect you to keep re-engaging with your parents?
Yeah, he wants me to try and re-engage them again.
And what's your reaction to that?
I don't want to. I still don't want to. I'm almost saying, like, let it go. I just need to let it go.
And what's his reaction?
I'm just supposed to do it.
Do they suggest to make another adjustment for you? Or is there any suggestion that they make?
No, we're just having a conversation.
And then he leaves.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And do you remember consciously that interaction afterwards?
No, I remember seeing him, but I thought it was like sleep paralysis or something.
So on the count of 3, you're going to move to the next interaction that you have with him or any other non-human entity. 1, 2, and 3. What do you see around you?
I'm back in the spaceship again.
Okay. And how old are you now?
I think around 35.
And what's happening with you?
We're doing an adjustment, some kind of adjustment again.
What is the goal of that adjustment?
I think now it's just to be, I think it's like a health check, like maybe I was going to be ill or something.
Your physical body was going to be ill?
Yeah.
And is it the same beings that are doing the adjustment?
They're different, but they're from the same species.
So is this adjustment done any differently?
Yeah, they're taking something out from my chest. I can't see it, but I know that's what they're doing.
And as they do that procedure, do you experience any physical discomfort or sensations?
No, I can't feel anything at all.
And are your friends there with you?
No, just the workers.
So how is this arranged? Is it usually your collective that makes the decision about you needing an adjustment? Or can sometimes you ask for it on a subconscious level?
No, I think they come to me. I think it's, I don't want to say scheduled, but the help is always brought to me.
So as the procedure is completed, did everything go well?
Yes, it's fine. I'm not going to be sick.
What kind of illness were they preventing?
Cancer.
I see. What type of cancer?
Lung cancer.
Now, I want to ask you, and you can ask them, in several of your lives, you had issues with your chest and with breathing. Did that have anything to do with you developing lung cancer?
We don't know. We don't know what it is. We just make adjustments.
So allow on the count of 3 those images to fade away, and we're going to move to the encounter on November 13, 2020. 1, 2, and 3. So tell me what's happening to you.
I'm back in the chair again in the ship.
And what do you see around you?
Those worker beings are here again. There's 3 of them. They're different this time, but the same species. And they're working around. They're removing something from inside my throat.
I wanted to ask them what they're doing and why.
You said they're removing a virus from my throat.
What virus is that?
You just said the virus that affects the lungs. They're concerned about my lungs.
And how are they doing that?
They're removing it from my throat with feels like they're shooting a hot liquid into it.
And does it bother you physically?
I can't feel anything physically, but I can taste it. It's really hot.
What does it taste like?
Like salsa with tomato-based oil. Very spicy. I don't like that taste. It's so spicy.
Are they successful at removing it?
Yeah, they removed it.
Do they tell you anything else that you need to know?
I said that it will affect my taste a little bit.
Will it be permanent?
No, just temporarily.
When they finish, what happens next?
I go back. They put me back down in the house.
So this time when you had that encounter, you brought back some conscious memory of it into your human life. Are you able now, from now on at least, to increase your conscious recollection?
Yes, because I've done it so much now.
So now as you look back at this entire experience with the workers that have been assisting you with your health and with those shadows that come that are actually your friends, would you feel more comfortable about retaining a conscious memory of those interactions?
Yes, as long as it doesn't affect my work.
Do you feel comfortable with the type of relationship you have with your parents, being that that is your assignment?
I'm going to do my job. I should make adjustments to that.
And what adjustments do you feel you need to make?
I would need to reestablish contact with them and try and have some sort of relationship.
From the perspective that you have now, knowing who you truly are, do you feel comfortable reestablishing that relationship?
Yes, I feel more comfortable with that now.
Wonderful. Now, before we return, I want you to just pose a question to your collective, to your friends. Is there anything they want to communicate to you at this point? And they can come through and interact with you.
They're reminding me that we're all one together. Not just our species, but everything is one. And that's why we do this work.
Hi again. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please leave a comment below, and also don't forget to like and subscribe so you can receive notifications of future sessions. Bye.